Okay, you guys, we're back with another video. In this video, we're gonna talk about Stefon Diggs and his accuser. They're back in front of a judge, and his accuser, Christopher, he is denying the allegations that his allegations against Stefon Diggs has caused Stefon Diggs any financial loss. Now, as you guys can remember, Mr. Chris Griffiths came out with some allegations of sexual assault against Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs fired back and sued Christopher for defamation in November of last year, after Christopher claimed that Stefon Diggs had not only sexually assaulted him, drugged him, and also later conspired to kill him, which I believe. I honestly, genuinely believe this guy, Christopher. Like, at first, I did not believe him, and I'm gonna be pretty honest. At first, I was like, you two were friends. I get the sense that something went down between both of you, but I don't think it was really that bad. And then, honey, we heard about the concierge that moved Stefon Diggs' Porsche from Massachusetts to Miami, and how Diggs allegedly got that man beaten up, started spreading, just unsavory statements about the guy. Not only that, Stefon Diggs sent men to the guy's house demanding back all the gifts that he gave to the guy, including a diamond rainbow necklace, which quite a few men in their circle wears. And critics believe that the diamond, rainbow necklace is indicative that they're all with each other on the DL, allegedly, right? So, it was not until this case that the concierge filed days before the Super Bowl against Stefon Diggs. I was like, wait a minute, this guy has a reputation, and his reputation seems to be synonymous to some of the things that Cardi B has done, because we know that Cardi B has paid to get people beaten up in the past. And most recently, we're talking about like 4 weeks ago, Cardi B's credit card was stolen. Cardi B went on live and said, if the people who stole the credit card are not held accountable, she's gonna pay people to get them beaten up, right? So to think about it, Cardi B and Stefon Diggs, they really deserve each other. I think they are two of the same people, right? No, as I was saying, this guy, I never believed him before. I believed some of the allegations, but not everything. I thought he was basically exalting things, exaggerating things, right? But no, with these allegations coming out, some Chef Mila, remember Chef Mila? Yes, the BBL chef, and the concierge guy. All these people are calling out Stefon Diggs for Diggs putting hands on them. And there's also an ex-girlfriend of Diggs that had the same allegation and still does have the same allegation against Diggs. So as such, I believe all of these people. Now, as I was saying, so the guy, Chris, he's called Chris, but his name is Christopher Griffith, right? He was good friends with Stefon Diggs. I believe he used to work for Diggs, if I'm correct. And he basically said that Diggs gave him spike candies, wanted him to eat it, and he didn't. And Stefon Diggs sexually assaulted him. And then after he basically called out Stefon Diggs for making a move on him, they came up with a lie accusing Christopher of stealing items from him. Now, Christopher is saying he never stole anything, but it is because he started rebelling against Diggs making an inappropriate move on him. So, he later sued Stefon Diggs, and Stefon Diggs sued Christopher last year, November, for defamation. He said that Diggs intentionally, so Diggs is saying, sorry, Christopher intentionally and knowingly lied for online clout and in the process seriously hurt his reputation. Not only is he saying that Christopher hurt his reputation, he's saying that Christopher has cost him, the allegations that Christopher has levied against him has cost him a lot of money. So now Christopher and his legal team, they are firing back at Stefon Diggs, right? They're saying to Stefon Diggs, you need to turn over all of your financial details, proving how I have financially harmed you. Because if you're claiming that I've cost you money, you should be able to provide evidence of such loss, and your bank account should reflect such information. So as such, Christopher and his attorney, they're saying Stefon Diggs needs to turn over all financial information, and they're saying that Stefon Diggs is stalling on this move because Stefon Diggs knows that he's lying. Christopher and his attorney, they're saying Stefon Diggs knows he hasn't cost him any money, right? And I have to say, honestly, I agree with Christopher because Christopher is saying that this is a discovery process and Stefon Diggs is resisting the discovery process. And, Christopher's attorney is saying, how is it that you're going to sue someone, but you're going to go hide what you're suing someone for? The claims that you're levying against the person, you're going to hide such pertinent details, the evidence. So Christopher's attorney is saying the evidence lies in Stefon Diggs' financial details. Stefon Diggs shouldn't be hiding the financial details if his allegations against Christopher are factual. So the attorney is saying Diggs needs to trump up all the bank records, everything, and prove where Christopher has cost him financial harm. And I definitely agree because, if anything, after Christopher brought forward the case, and when we were able to connect Stefon Diggs to Cardi B, Stefon Diggs started getting more brand deals thanks to Christopher and Cardi B. So, as such, I genuinely, for the first time, I have to say, maybe this is the only time that I know someone who basically has sued someone accusing them of unpleasantry, and that lawsuit has caused the individual to make more money and to garner more attention. Because ever since this Christopher guy and Cardi B, because first it was Christopher who sued Stefon Diggs, right? Then as time passed, we learned that this is a very same guy who Cardi B is messing around with. This is a very same guy that Cardi B is having a baby for. So the two, Christopher and Cardi B, basically the two scenarios coming out in the public at the same time gave Stefon Diggs a boost to his popularity. And the moment that Stefon Diggs started getting more popular, mostly attributed to Cardi B, we saw Stefon Diggs getting more brand deals. So as such, yes, I believe he definitely needs to trump up those financial records and prove as to where Christopher's allegations against him has cost him financially. Because if I'm going to say you have cost me financially, how am I jumping to that conclusion? I should have some amount of records to prove that such activity, such incidents did in fact happen. So, as Christopher's attorney is saying, why is Stefon Diggs stalling? Why are you refusing to turn over your financial details? But We're going to see what happens because they're saying to the court, you need to ensure that this man turns over his financial records as proof. So now that the case is getting so interesting, I'm here wondering, who is going to pay to get Christopher beaten up? Is it going to be Cardi B who pays to get Christopher beaten up? Is it going to be Stefon Diggs who pays to get Christopher beaten up? Or will it be both Cardi B and Stefon Diggs? Because both parties, they genuinely have a reputation. They love to pay to get their enemies beaten up. And we know that Cardi B loves Stefon Diggs more than how she loves herself. And she may see it as her need to protect her man by way of getting Christopher beaten up. I'm not praying for it, but it is possible because that's how they go about doing things. So, you guys let me know. Do you agree with Christopher and his attorney saying that Stefon Diggs needs to submit all his financial records? Also, who do you think may get Christopher beaten up? Do you think it's Cardi B, Stefon Diggs, or do you think both of them will pay to get Christopher beaten up? Leave your comment below. We're going to talk some more in the comment section. Peace.